Hello, everyone. Welcome to Varese, Italy, day number 1 of week number 3 on the ISU Junior Grand Prix. I'm Ted Barton, along with my colleague and friend, Mark Hanratty, joining me here on site. Men's short program coming up, Mark. What can we expect?
We've got lots of men who've entered into this field who have either had medals on the Junior Grand Prix or been very close to that. We've had people that have been 5th at the Junior World Championships. So lots of contestants all vying for medals here in Varese. I'm excited to see so many of them, but a particular favourite for me is Alexander Fagan, who brings such class and refinement to skating. So lots to look forward to.
And also from North America, David Bondar from Canada, got quads and a triple axel, a real technical skater. He's really improved. So it's really all up in the air, and we're going to find out. 24 skaters from 21 nations. The men's short program starts right now. Well, welcome back, everyone, to Varese, Italy, day number 1 of competition. The junior men's short program coming up in just a few moments. We've just finished the rhythm dance. I'm Ted Barton, along with Mark Hanratty here in Varese. It's a beautiful little town, little community, and a wonderful rink, Mark. It's brand new, or relatively new. It's called the A5 Arena here as we take a look at the officials for this event, the technical panel as well, Mark.
Yeah, really fabulous facility, and it reminds me, I've been in lots of rinks in the Dolomites in Italy, and it has the same feeling, and I just love the wood, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but I do love the venue, and that will be something that the skaters will hopefully appreciate and enjoy too, although perhaps they're too young to appreciate how wonderful this venue is.
Well, seeing outside, getting daylight into the arena, it sort of brings I don't know, it's almost like when you're young and you would go to a rink, it's like just a play area.
Yeah.
Like it's a different feeling than a training rink that you cannot see outside. So there's a look at the start order for this event, and there's some really good skaters in this competition, Mark. And as you know, we talked about in the opening, really hard to predict. We've seen some skaters we like to see and that we have seen in the past, but I wouldn't say there's any necessarily incredible front runners.
No, I don't. And this.
But we'll find out.
Yeah, that could be perhaps ignorance on my behalf, but there isn't necessarily a standout skater that is so separate from the crowd. So there's not like we were talking about Alyssa Liu earlier today, a skater that's got jump content that is so vastly different and superior to the others. There's not a skater of that kind of vein. However, when there is no standout star, that facilitates more excitement for the athletes and thinking that they could be in contention for the medals and the points towards the final in Nagoya, Japan.
And sometimes you get a surprise from, because sometimes, not sometimes, every year we get new skaters we haven't seen before, might have heard, but we haven't seen them before. So I always love that when that happens. So we've seen that over the last couple of years, like, oh my gosh, we had not seen this skater to skate at that level, or the improvement they made from one year to the next.
And interestingly, we've had questions that have come in to the International Skating Union social media, and one of the questions that has come in from @Tani Hitonari: biggest advice to young skaters aiming for Junior Grand Prix? And I think I would love to give skaters advice that they could take ownership over their own skating. And so for me, autonomy for a skater is really important. Obviously, if you're geographically close to great coaches, that's going to make life easier, but if the skaters themselves can take autonomy over their own improvement. So my advice would be that skaters would research what off-ice exercises and tricks and tips they can undertake in their own time to enhance their own skating.
So what you're saying by autonomy is that don't wait to be told, do your own homework, or ask the questions of your coaches. What can I do with this amount of time exactly? So get involved in your own, I don't want to say coaching, but your own journey by learning as much as you can by yourself, because you're not in a lesson all the time, so you're going to have to discover something. Watch a lot of video, perhaps.
Yeah, that was actually the next thing that I was going to say, Ted. I think that one of the things that, certainly I'm no Olympic champion, but one of the things that shaped my skating was a real study of ice skaters. And I keep referencing the Run Through podcast that I've been listening to, which refers to previous past champions, and upon re-watching them, it reminds me how much I studied the sport and studied the greats. And for the athletes that aspire to compete at these Junior Grand Prix, the more that they can visually watch the world's past champions, the more they can try to learn from it and absorb some of it.
I completely agree. And I in in this day and age with all the video that's out there, I find it surprising skaters don't study great technique. You can copy technique. You don't copy a program or music or costume, but you copy great technique and see where those arms are. Like we take a look at that double Lutz right there. Where are the arms when they take off? Or, you know, look at the successful jumps. What's the common denominator? But you have to look at hundreds of them, not just once in a while to be entertained. You really have to study it.
And that, I suppose, takes us back, as we've been discussing already in this Junior Grand Prix, about nations that have excelled where there was not previously success in the sport. And we talked about China and the pairs discipline, and they had to effectively learn from video footage.
From video, exactly, absolutely. Okay, do you have any other questions?
We do indeed, so I'll just refer to the lovely...
And we thank you for sending questions in, because it helps us fill the time with questions that you would like to have answered.
So one of the questions comes in from at ACapN93. Do you think a Junior Grand Prix event will ever be hosted in America?
A Junior Grand Prix event? Oh yeah, it has been. I mean, we've had it in Colorado Springs. We had it in Lake Placid was the last one. We've had it in Richmond, British Columbia. Yeah, you know, the challenge is that the Junior Grand Prix don't have a lot of funding. And the prices of hotels and travel and all that kind of stuff is more than what we get in smaller communities here in Europe. The travel of all the equipment as well. Now, having said that, you take a look at what we're doing this year.
Wow.
3 weeks in Europe, now to Thailand, then we're going to China, then to Azerbaijan and Baku, and then to Abu Dhabi or Gdansk, then Abu Dhabi. So we're moving all around the world. So if North America wants to have one, they can certainly put a bid in. But I think the association's going, well, we'd love to have it, but it is so costly, and they have other costs, of course, with their other teams. So,
which I suppose is the rationale and the motivation for us who love the sport, and hopefully for the fans who are listening now, to try to continue raising the awareness of the sport, gain more followership, gain more viewers, gain more traction, so that then essentially money can be injected increasingly into the sport to support these amazing, amazing athletes. It really is what we all aspire to see, is more representation, more support of the sport and the skaters. So, the next question coming in, what do you think about young athletes who already can land quadruple jumps?
Well, you know, generally speaking, when you have that type of coordination and the proper strength, the ratio between what you need and what you have needs to be coordinated. And generally, when you're younger, it's more efficient. That's why you see younger skaters quite often in certain parts of the world be able to do the quads. A little later in life, maybe not, because your body changes, right? So I think it's fine. You just have to watch to make sure, because the bones are growing and the muscles are growing. So yes, do it, but manage it carefully, because if I'm good, do it. And you never know. When you're young, you think you're invincible, but, until your body breaks, right? So I think it's great, and I think you want to find the right amount of repetition that gets consistent but does not injure your body. So you have to monitor carefully. And everybody's a little bit different, of course.
And the skaters, the question previously was, what advice would we give to young skaters? Give a technique when learning singles, doubles.
Yes, technique is everything.
Because that will facilitate quadruples.
Yeah, absolutely. And you might be able to do a quadruple without good technique, but it's going to hurt your body. It's going to twist it or pull it or whatever. As we get started in the first group in the event number 2, the men's short program. Our first skater represents Spain, 18-year-old Andre Zapata, second Junior Grand Prix season, Spain's junior champion, 28th last year at the Junior Worlds.
And this is Andre's first competition of the season, having recently moved to Torino in August in preparation for this season ahead.
Well, Mark, that was a fun performance.
Wasn't it? And just the reaction there from Andre Zapata from Spain, just, I think that encapsulates all the hard work. And I said just before he performed that he's recently moved to Torino, so there's been life commitment and change to pursue more skating success. And when the skater goes out and skates well, just such a joy to see the reflection of all the hard work. And also, I think, for me, I love that I've heard different track. I don't think I've heard Pink Elephant by Cherry Pop and Daddies, and that's also an indication to either the coach and choreographer or the skater having the desire to have their own originality, not following conventional music choice, as we see this triple lutz, triple toe.
Yeah, it's interesting. This went in as a triple lutz double toe, but of course they have review. They've corrected it, and now the flying sit spin level 1, and here's the triple loop a little bit later. Nice and clear. Good height. Here's the double axel. Good riding off the end of the edge. Good ice coverage. Stretched free leg. And happy at this point. Skating free. Good turned out toe. Change of edge right now. There it is. Forward outside.
Just about getting the feature in on the change of edge. And his new coach, Eduardo De Bernardi, saying that they're working on triple axels and quads, but obviously this, maybe just not ready for competition. This is a great skate for a skater who's knowing what they're capable of and delivering a performance that seems to be a real reflection of what they are capable of at this time, not overstretched. I mean, talking of overstretched, that's that's a good stretch.
And that is a great performance when you come off the ice. The best that you could do at this stage, you feel like, well, there's hope because it continue to improve. And we'll see what the score is. He has a 57.70 is his personal best, earning that, I believe, last season. So will he beat that score here with this program? And most likely will, because that was a pretty solid skate.
Yeah. There we go. 59.
59.91 for Andre Zapata from Spain. That'll put him currently into first place. There is our next skater representing Italy, 18-year-old Matteo Marchioni. And this is his first Junior Grand Prix event. Does not have extensive international experience.
Matteo comes from Canazze, a little further away, but I'm sure nevertheless delighted to be performing in his home country.
Where the wedding has been, lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing the face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Died in the church and was buried along with her name. Nobody came. Father Mackenzie wiping the dirt from his hands as he walks from the grave. No one was saved. All the lonely people. church and was buried along with her name. Nobody came. All the lonely people.
Matteo Marchioni from Italy. Nice piece of music, Eleanor Rigby. I love that.
I completely agree. It's funny how we both, immediately connect with the music. And with Matteo's performance, what I was so pleased about is that we've had two 18-year-olds to open this junior men's event, and it's just wonderful to see a skater who's managing to, at 18, have junior Grand Prix experience. And
he explodes off the ice. He gets great air time and nice, clean, clear jumps. He had a road a three-turn out of the loop, I believe, but still overall, I think this is really a good performance.
And at 18 years old, we do see a sense of connection to music as we see the triple lutz. Triple double.
Oh, he stepped out of that one as well. I missed that. Yeah, so he's got a couple GOE problems on both those jumps.
Good choice of features there with the sit behind, and then the double axel looking easy and comfortable. Good clear posture and that. Just I wondered about this change camel spin, just the height of the free leg in that camel side feature, whether or not that was sufficiently attained. It's currently under review.
Really, really nice skater. Has the turnout issues on those two elements. 3 elements in the minus GOE, so losing a few points from the base value, but he's a big jumper and really wonderful skating skills, good deep edge and lots of flow.
Yeah, and for me, I just written down butterfly. There was a wonderful butterfly transition within the step sequence that was just fabulous. Airtime and extension in the position, which I really appreciated.
And you can see him in the kiss and cry, bright and alert and sort of aware of the performance and also the joy in his face right now, right?
He appears to be very present. And maybe that is, first Junior Grand Prix being at 18 years of age gives you a little bit more awareness and perspective.
Yeah, true enough. Sometimes if it comes too early, it's hard to appreciate where you're at.
And it's such an enormity of, exposure to so many sensory, impetus. It's hard to...
Sort of a reorganization of the couch there.
Actually, and the kiss and cry couch is incredibly comfortable.
Yeah, I know. It's like the most comfortable we've ever had. 52.45 from Matteo, and that puts him currently into second place. Really a fine skater. Had a couple of mistakes on the landings of the jumps early on in the competition. Our next skater represents Slovakia, 18-year-old Lukas Vaclavik. 6 in Junior Grand Prix final in Grenoble and 6 in week 1 in Riga. He is ranked second in senior in Slovakia. He was 19th at the Junior World Championships, Mark.
And Lukas had a bit of a nightmare last week. The blade broke off his skate when he was going into triple lutz last Wednesday. Managed to get it repaired in time for his performance here in Varese.
Leave a light on in the wild, 'cause I'm coming in a little blind, dreaming of a lighthouse in the woods, shining a little light to bring us back home.
Slovakia's Lukas Vaclavik, he'll be disappointed with the triple loop, but Ted, that triple axel, if I go through the criteria for good creative execution, good takeoff and landing, yes. Good height and length, yes. Effortless throughout, yes. And phrase to the music, the lyric Dreamers, when he landed that triple axel, made me feel comfortable to bravely go for a +4 GOE, which in juniors for triple axel is bold.
Well, you can see the qualities of this young man's skating that got him a long ways last year. He had a rough start this season. We'll take a look at some of the elements in the short program, but you can see him standing stoically, looking up, waiting for that music. Sort of dreamy. There's the triple axel, solid landing and takeoff, a +0.60. That Ina Bauer, nice sort of walk into that triple loop. Too bad stepping out, otherwise this program would have been clean. Here's the triple Lutz, reloads, triple toe loop, gets it done nicely.
And he did double the loops when he last competed in Riga, so he'll be delighted, well, not delighted, he'll be pleased to have had the triple. However, he's a skater of such caliber, and there's going to be the reference point with last year. However, I mean, he's perhaps not skating as well as last year in regards to cleanliness of the skate. But behind that, we can still see the progression in the artist that he is, as coaches Sergei and Polina join him in the kiss and cry.
Yeah. Well, his season's best is, let's see what we got here, 72.13. His personal best is 73. So he's come in that range, unfortunately, about that triple loop step out. So that'll keep maybe a little bit shy on that. But overall, better performance.
Yeah, and you know, there's got to be the comparison with his brother Tadeusz, who competed last week, and I just think his sister is an ice dancer. The parents just must be in constant high
state of
levels
shock
watching their children compete.
Yeah, it must be stressful watching all the time, and busy schedule. 71.06 for Lukas, and that'll put him currently into first place early on in the competition. Our next competitor, 15-year-old Alexander Fagan from the United States, starting skating at the age of 4. He says every setback in skating is a set up for a comeback. Third Junior Grand Prix season, U.S. Junior silver medalist coached by Roman Sirov and choreographed by Nina Petrenko.
Alexander, such an artistic skater, has so much ballet training, which you will be able to see showcased in this performance to Always With Me, Always With You. Well, America's Alexander Fagan is so interesting because this a clean skate with one of the simplest in terms of base value jump combinations perhaps that we'll see in the event. Triple Salchow combination, yes, with triple toe, but what he doesn't have in terms of base value, he brings in creative execution and quality and the musicality, the body alignment, very Jason Brown comparison.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, the level of technical difficulty that he's at, which is still pretty good, the quality is huge. This is a beautiful, beautiful skater, wonderful edges, great flow, great takeoffs, good technique, and wonderful choreographic movements, which he executes beautifully to this music. And I know that it's a different piece of music, kind of almost jazzy. There's the double axel, good right off the edge, good flow on the landing. When that becomes a triple, it's going to be a beauty. And here's we look at the triple loop. Makes it easy. Stretch free leg, strong straight back. The jump combination here, the triple Salchow, right up into the triple toe loop. Not a lot of speed on the second jump, but still beautifully done. Look at that spin.
Oh, gorgeous. And this testament to all of the ballet that Alexander has done, accessing beautiful position with a good range of flexibility and strength to suffice not just the level, but the creative execution too. And Alexander, recent coaching change, he's previously coached by Roman Serov for many years now, working with Rafael Aratunian and the team there.
And, you know, from a technical perspective, this is going to be good for him and moving into the triple axel and the quads, which will be in his future. He's just 15 years old, so he's got lots of time here.
And it's an interesting assessment as to, you know, Alexander Fagan has so many qualities that some of the world's best seniors don't even necessarily have. It's going to be really interesting to see the development of this skater who will now approach a greater technical aspect as we see Heidi Thibert, who's helping and supporting him here. She's United States Figure Skating's Director of Coach Development and Education. And she's
team leader here.
Yeah.
Yeah, really interesting. We had a discussion with her about the coaching program in the United States, and that was fascinating. You kept asking a lot of questions, and I thought we were never going to have dinner.
Poor woman didn't know what she was getting
herself
herself
into. Exactly. Who's the guy with the accent?
That guy.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that's quite endearing, Alexander crossing his fingers.
Yeah, exactly. 67.97. That puts Alexander currently into second place. Great job. Very bright future for this young man. Good start to his journey internationally. There is our next competitor representing Ukraine, 15-year-old Fedir Babenko. He was 8th last week in Ankara. And this his first Junior Grand Prix season. Mark?
And seeing him last week in Ankara, I remember saying I was going to remember this athlete. I wasn't then so aware that we would be treated to a performance in back-to-back Junior Grand Prix. Ukraine's Fedir Babenko and
Such a beautiful skater. And, you know, it's amazing that step sequence is so aggressive and deep edges after that unexpected and surprise fall.
And I'm so glad in a way that he isn't competing in back-to-back events, because I can so readily remember how much I loved watching this athlete, this musically attentive and mindful athlete. And, you know, as we say so often, all learning experiences, the loop takeoff fall, he's done it in practice probably on a rare occasion. We've all been there, we've all done that. It's no fun. Just so unfortunate it happens now.
Watch right here, down on the knee. It just hits the back of the heel. And that sends him down.
No value. Well, he -1 off the score chart at this point already, based on that.
And then the double Lutz.
And then tried to scramble something on the back of it, but
did not back down here.
And I think this is, you know, this is the reason that I remember Fedir skating from last week. He was so musically mindful, and he skates with a kind of freedom and joy. And even the fact that he's skating to music by Rossini, the Thieving Magpie, it's not the kind of conventional music choice for a 15-year-old, and yet he did it so well, as we see this double axel. And even that, a little bit tighter. I think he's got potential for double axels with greater creative execution than what he delivered there, but he'll have been satisfied to at least cling on to the landing, having had rather nightmarish results with the first 2 jumping passes.
You know, and last week I loved his, you could see the pure passion for his participation in the sport, in the competition. Loves to be out there, loves to be here. Look, even here, disappointed with the mistakes, but he's good. It's okay. It's okay. You know, like he's teaching her. It's okay. Mistakes were made, but I know what I'm doing here.
I almost, you know, a skater like this, we know the value of those big jumping passes. I want to gift him a triple axel and a quad, because I think that he has a character that is engaging, and we're all about, you know, fan engagement. He's got that connection with the audience that not many have as readily as he does. Yeah,
you know, he's natural with the music, he's natural with the skating skills, and then it's just going to be learning those technical elements and delivering under pressure. 44.36. That will put Fedir currently into 5th place. He's still got that smile. He's kind of a cool kid, eh?
I like him.
Yeah, really nice. Our next competitor represents China, 17-year-old Tonghe Tian. This is his 4th Junior Grand Prix season. He was 15th at Junior World Championships last year. He had a bronze and silver on the Junior Grand Prix last season as well.
And a skater with this reputation and this caliber will be hoping that after just a bronze and a silver last year, that he can take his first Junior Grand Prix title.
Ces matins-là sont trop pénibles, quand même dehors le temps est gris. Et d'ailleurs dedans aussi, y a les jours sans, les jours avec, ce sera sans, je te le parie. Remplis mon verre jusqu'au bout, parce qu'il est à moitié vide, pessimiste, pas du tout. Aidez-moi, je me sens si seul. L'espoir d'une lueur, que demain sera meilleur, mais j'en ai marre d'être déprimé, et ça me déprime d'en avoir marre. Mais à quoi bon me réveiller, je préfère dormir toute la journée si c'est pour vivre ce cauchemar. Mais pourquoi j'ai plus de peine que les autres, alors que les autres n'ont aucun problème? problème. D'ailleurs, est-ce que tout ça c'est pas de leur faute à ces égoïstes au bonheur obscène? Je me sens si seul. Laissez-moi, c'est mon droit d'être déprimé dans mon fauteuil. Il y a l'espoir d'une lueur, que demain sera meilleur, mais
China's Tonghe Tian putting down a campaign to be in medal contention yet again in his 4th season on the Junior Grand Prix. And it's interesting because for me, when I think of Chinese male skaters, I think of Han Yan or Bo Yang-jin, who have had such technical prowess. And Tonghe Tian seems to be a skater that gravitates more to the musicality. And this music choice for me, fascinating, Mauvaise Journée by Stromae. Interesting to see a skater choosing something that you would assume is, I don't know, not music that we would have heard and connected to, but he did a great job of that.
It's just a double axel to start the program with. I'm sure that's the spot held for the triple. Maybe a little bit later in the season. Here's the triple loop. Nice and tidy in the air. Beautiful soft knees, running edge. That was a lovely jump. There's the triple Lutz. A little bit later. Not a lot of speed in between, but he muscles through it, gets it done cleanly.
And there, oh, that was a great articulation of his back there within the body movement. I have to think the Choctaw body movement is a feature, a technical feature to get more technical points. So if the skater can showcase good range of body movement within the step, it will add technical points, but it will also enhance those program component scores.
Nice.
Ben Shu Zhu, 2-time national champion, the coach for Tonghe Tian. And there is a ceiling to a skater's score in regards to the technical element score when there isn't triple axel. But as the season progresses, Tonghe Tian will be hoping to keep pushing those components up ever higher.
Yeah, he's been, like this is his 4th season. He hasn't had great results in the Junior Grand Prix. Nice skater, but not at the top. And he'll need that triple axel to climb that ladder.
Well, he was 2nd at his last one, 3rd the one before that, 4th before that. So maybe, given that stat, 4th, 3rd, 2nd.
Oh, I'm looking at the difference. Sorry.
So could be going for the title, 4th, 3rd, 2nd,
yeah,
1st.
I had a different skater. Sorry. 68.34 for Tonghe Tian from China. That's 2nd so far in the competition. But I think at this competition, you're going to need that triple axel.
Yeah.
There's some good skaters. But we'll see. Could be a surprise. There's a look at the standings so far. 1 group done, 3 to come.
I always get surprised. You think I'd know when the warm-up is coming, and oh,
You get a break to
share some more questions potentially.
And there's a look at the start order for group number 2. Mark, what do we got coming up?
Well, I think we have to give shout out and gratitude to those that have sent the questions in, because interestingly, what I didn't realize is that we've got a question coming in from Hitonari Tani, who is a US novice man's competitor that competed at the Grand Prix Cup.
Okay, there you go.
So we're not just getting non-skaters, but there are skaters watching and obviously competitive current skaters. So a big shout out to all those that are watching, and actually that gives us the opportunity to say, if there are any athletes that are watching that are competing in the subsequent events on the Junior Grand Prix, please do feel free to share your stories with us. We would love to represent you, your families, your coaches.
The stories.
Yeah, proud to represent you and all the hard work that you and all those that are around you do in order to compete at this stage and represent your country.
What's the question, though?
But the question,
rambling on there.
Rambling as usual. The question coming in from @Laura Wong1201. Why do some skaters' spins not get good GOE?
Well, there's a whole number of reasons why that GOE, the quality of the spin, can be affected by the execution, of course, the speed or the positions. And Mark, as you scramble through your papers, he's down on the floor at the moment looking through his binders.
So I always think, for us as commentators, everybody can have a personal preference and everybody can gravitate to what they might naturally like in their visual. But there is clear criteria. So the judges, like we as commentators, have to remove a kind of personal preference and then judge based on criteria. And so for the spins for a good grade of execution, when we look through this next group of 6 men competing, they will all do 3 spins. And in order for them to achieve a positive grade of execution of the highest level, they need to show good speed or acceleration. In addition, they need to show controlled, clear positions, including the height and a flying spin. And it needs to show an effortlessness throughout.
So let me ask you, clear positions. Explain that to the non-skating people, what that means in regards to a camel spin or a sit spin, because you can have different positions. What is a clear position?
So there are 3 types of spin position: upright, sit, and camel spin position. And for the camel spin position, the height of the feed leg needs to be in line or above the hip. That's to be callable. So there's a certain factor in allowing the spin to be called the correct position. But to make it a controlled, clear position, then the judges can go beyond just what ticks the box into how beautiful it may be. Increased stretch of the free leg, increased stretch of the back and the spine, increased extension right through to the fingers and the toes.
Yeah, and that requires more strength and flexibility. So the more that you use those to execute, it's a higher quality. One of the aspects, anyways.
That body awareness. And then what I think is really interesting and a lot of the skaters perhaps aren't aware of is that there are other criteria for positive grade of execution. There are 3 more. But the maximum +4s and +5s are only possible once those first 3 factors have been shown.
Yeah.
And I think the other things are creativity or elements matching the music. And sometimes athletes say, well, my spin matched the music, or I have a creative position, but maybe a little bit unaware that they will only get the recognition for creativity or musically matched element if they've shown the good speed, the good control, clear position, and the effortlessness throughout.
And for those who don't know much about skiing, that sounds rather loads of stuff and complicated, and you wouldn't be able to do it. But as a trained judge, they clearly know that those 3 points have to be achieved for even look at the second 2 points. So I think that they've been trained extremely well to recognize that. So, but we'll talk about the clear positions, the camel spin, pointed toe, and that leg above the hip perhaps, or at least level to it. So those fine positions we often talk about, was that really at hip level, was it not? We also mention about pointed toes. That sounds like a small detail. It's not. It's a big detail because it helps with that GOE.
And then in terms of the GOE, this grade of execution, Ted, you wonderfully represent it as the quality of these elements. There is a value for it. So these skaters will know that if they go out and they give, first of all, they tick the boxes to get the highest level, level 4. That's what all these skaters will want. Level 4, there's a certain value to that. But then that value will be enhanced with that good quality if they showcase it.
Yeah, a difficult element, a level 4, the most difficult element, does not guarantee good quality. In fact, it might be more difficult. Some coaches will go, let's go for a level 2 difficulty, but a +2 quality, because it's a little bit simpler, but you can get a better quality. So, but generally speaking, skaters like to go for the level 4.
And just, I'm just looking at the scores of this event thus far. So the Slovakian Lukas Vaclavik leads the field. One of his spins was a flying sit spin at level 3. He had 2.6 points for that. We saw Alexander Fagan. Those that joined us for that first group will have seen the very balletic American skater. He had flying sit spin level 4, but he enhanced his score by showcasing such good grade of execution. So for that one element alone, Alexander had a point more on the same comparative element to the leader.
Yeah, 3.60, yeah.
So yeah, all of these factors, and that's why skaters, like, to me, when I think of spins, and we reference the spins and pertaining to this question about how skaters get good grade of execution, for me, Mao Shimada, the 3-time junior world champion, absolutely ticks the boxes. I can now, in my mind's eye, see her combination spin, and when I'm looking at that criteria, know that she's doing +4, +5.
Yeah.
And the good thing for the skaters is, whilst there's often more variability in their jumps come event to event, when you have a quality grade of execution in your spins, they are bankable elements. They might not be the things skaters want to practice because it's not as exciting as jumping, but it can just be a consistent fallback on your score.
Okay. Well done, Mark. Well filled out. Good information.
Thanks.
What
It's
did you
all
s-
just what's available, I suppose.
What did you say? There we go. Our first competitor represents the Republic of South Africa. 18-year-old Cody Kock, third Junior Grand Prix season. He's coached by Doug Haw. He does his own choreography, Mark. Or at least he participates in it.
Yeah, and as Coach Doug was saying, that this skater will do whatever is asked of them, totally committed to their self-improvement in this sport. Cody Kock, representing Republic of South Africa, and I just love to see the passion and the reaction to the performance was somewhat evident in the way that he skates. He skates with such fervent,
And
energetic passion.
you know, that the pedal was to the metal.
Absolutely.
Like that accelerator was right on the floor of that car. He was moving fast all the way through that program, and he didn't back off one speed.
No, not at all. As fellow skater Ella Hawks from the same nation cheers him on. I think what is his best attribute, as I'll sidestep as we watch the triple.
He got his free leg off the ice, does the 3 turn. That'll be a slight reduction up into the second triple toe loop, gets it done, or up into the triple toe loop. So good fight, kind of correcting the problem a little bit. Double
This
axle.
was so long.
Huge.
Such length. And I love that. Musically, it was on point. Triple loop in the same location as the Toto. And actually, he did acquire triple loop, triple flip, and triple loops in the last year. So perhaps that little clench of the fist was to see that he'd done the triple loop under competition now, and that's added to his repertoire under the stress of competition. Interesting, these spins after the spin discussion we had in the warm-up.
Yeah.
It's,
I think interesting for him, this is as clean a program as a higher level program that he's done probably. So he's pretty thrilled with that. His 44.69 is his personal best, and he should beat that score with that performance. We'll see.
I just think that the energy that he has is so amazing. He's obviously got such passion and love for what he's doing. It's his greatest attribute, but perhaps a little bit of his worst enemy as far as just a little frenetic, borderline frantic, if he can just harness it without losing any of that raw, glorious energy that he also has, like a rough diamond.
Yeah, but he's still got that energy and the kiss and cry now, because for him, that was a thrill.
Yeah.
That was fun. And that's what this is supposed to be.
Yes, joyful.
I mean, you can love skating by itself, but competition heightens the senses to anticipation and fear, lack of confidence, overconfidence, a whole mess of emotions that come with different skaters. We'll take a look at the scores for the show program for Cody. It's a 48.69. That beats last year's score, and that'll put him currently into 6th. I think he was hoping for more, because that for him was a top flight program, but there were some mistakes, and especially the spins were a little bit of an issue. Good job. Fun to watch.
Oh, great fun. Memorable.
Yeah.
And so now to the youngest of the competitors that we have seen thus far, Sandro D'Angelo. Just 14 years of age. We saw him working hard off the ice. And I think we've also seen some quality triple axels from this young skater.
the area of a rectangle whose length is 1 furlong and whose width is 1 cubit.
We don't need no education. Teacher, leave them kids alone. Hey! Teacher, leave them kids alone. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall.
Mark, I think this kid's kind of cool. I mean, he's unpredictable in his movement, solid technical skate, as you said, first triple axel, believe it?
I think he tried it at the Swiss test skate, but it was deemed under-rotated. It's under review currently, but to land, to have it called in the program at a competition fully rotated is a big coup. It's a big accomplishment. But for me, it's just fascinating that this is a 14-year-old that's picked Pink Floyd as the music track, and the choreography by Artem Fedorenko lives up to the music choices we see. The axle, bit of pre-rotation, but.
Use that 3 turn out. So they put it on a quarter on the landing. Yeah. Here's the triple Lutz, good height. Nice straight, tight position in the air for rotation. That very clean triple Lutz, triple toe. Well done.
As we see this triple loop, Ted, this is the fascinating comparison now between, in the pursuit of long-term greatness, we're looking at Sandro D'Angelo, who's got triple axel. We saw a very different approach there. Choreographically good, but skating skills still needing a lot of refinement. Alexander Fagan from the United States of America has greater skating skill, higher PCS, but doesn't have the triple axel. And it's just so interesting to see this 14-year-old and 15-year-old. How will those two young men develop? What's the kind of best plan of attack? Linda Van Trooyen and Sindre are doing a wonderful job at creating these great athletes. Everybody's got a different approach to the long goal, being, ultimately world-class elite senior.
And different speed of development.
Yeah,
The different speeds of growth. There's a whole variety of different things. And you might be a little bit behind one competitor, then you might pass them as you go through 17 and 18. They might pass you as it gets to 21, 22, right? Things change.
And different approaches to what's the best investment at the time. And getting a triple axel at 14 years of age is a good investment of time.
Big investment, really good. Because, you can have all the style, but if that triple axel dates you when you're 18, 17, 18, 19, it's going to be a tough goal. You might get it later. Yeah. Unless you're a Jason Brown, who Jason can compete without the quads, but he has the triple axel.
But Jason hasn't medaled at Worlds despite that brilliance.
That's true. 64.04 for Sandro, and that'll put him currently into 4th place. Exciting talent. We talked about surprises. He's one of them. Put him on the list. We'll see more. Just 3 points short of Alexander.
Yeah, great comparison. Really interested to see that development.
Our next competitor represents Japan. Taiga Nishino, 15 years old, 3rd Junior Grand Prix season. At the Japanese National, he was 3rd in junior, 12th in senior.
And a skater who can land quads. He's got a quad sal and a quad toe. That's not used in a short program. I hope engage with just triple axel.
It was a night, oh what a night, it was, really was such a night. Oh, the moon was bright, oh how bright it was, really was such a night. Oh, the night was alive with stars above. When she kissed me, I had to fall in love. It was a kiss, ooh, it was a kiss, it was, really was such a kiss. Oh, how she could kiss, oh, what a kiss it was, really was such a kiss. Just the thought of her lips set me afire. I reminisce, I'm filled with desire. But I gave my heart to her in sweet surrender. How well I remember, I'll always remember. Such a night, oh the moon was bright, oh how bright it was, it really was such a night. But I'll never forget the kiss in the moonlight. How well I remember, I'll always remember that I gave my heart to her in sweet surrender. How well I remember, I'll always remember. Oh, what a night, it really was such a night. And when we kissed, I had to fall in love. Well, she's gone, yeah, she's gone.
Well, you may have just seen the technical element score go over 41 points for Japan's Taiga Nishino. And I think we could have a new leader, Ted.
I would think so. What great energy. But the energy came through the choreography and the technical elements. There wasn't anything left untouched from his sort of emotion to the music. And that was just a great performance, good technique. Triple Axel made that look easy.
And throughout the last performance, we were talking about the approach that the skaters and their coaches have with regards to being a front runner. Taiga Nishino, as you see the Japanese flag waved in support, was able to deliver program component scores and the triple axel. So he had, the combination, the best combination.
Yeah, he's sitting at sevens, the low to mid sevens in the PCs already. So he's going to have a nice big score. There's a triple axel, great lift up there, easy and fast running edge on that landing. That's what you want to see. The triple flip here, gets free leg back, up into the triple toe loop, squeaks that out, but nicely done. Triple loop is not a problem a little bit later in the program. And right up into the flying sit spin.
And I think that Taiga has previously used triple lutz, triple toe as the combination in the short program, but he'd had mistakes with that in domestic events. So, that was a good save. That could have been could be a whole lot worse. Because I actually worried that the step sequence would have a negative grade of execution. Had he fallen on that, that could have had a huge impact on the score.
But his 77.20 personal best from last season, he'll come close to that, may or may not beat it, we're not sure, but it's in the 70s in this program, that's for sure. That's delightful. I wonder if he could keep that energy up all the way through a free program.
Wow.
So we'll find out. What does he skate to?
Beethoven that he's using,
Beethoven.
So it's such a start.
Moonlight Sonata. No, we're not going to have that quite that pace. We'll see a change of pace in that free program.
Interesting also, Ted, that Taiga has Misao Sato as coach and choreographer, and for so many of the Japanese skaters, they use different choreographers to the coach, and so kudos to this coach Misao for being able to double up. In a nation which is, so fueled with so many wonderful inputs, she's obviously created a really, really well-rounded skater, and she's worked with Koshiro Shimada, Shun Sato, Yuma Kageyama.
They have so many good coaches and skaters in Japan. It's really, embarrassing to have so many, have such wealth in the sport. And when they, I remember that Japan skating early in their stages of development, and they were sort of same thing as the Chinese were watching by video and learning by but boy did they, they rule kind of right now at the moment, or at least they're part of the rulers.
Yeah. Completely. And for me, so many. Well, Yuzuru Hanyu, the best ever.
75.97 for Taiga Nishino from Japan. That is first, as we thought we'd have a new leader. And here he is. He's pretty happy with that. Not a huge amount of emotion in that kiss and cry, but what a great skate. What a fun skater. Our next competitor represents Canada, 18-year-old David Bondar. He is the Canadian Junior Champion, the 17th of the Junior Worlds last year. This is his 4th Junior Grand Prix season. He's coached by Lee Barkel, the 2008 World Champion Jeffrey Buttle. Lee Barkel was his coach.
And David said that his younger sister skates, and David has been mentoring her, and that experience has given him a respect for the patience his coaches have when coaching him. Well, Canada's David Bondar in 2022 was 18th at Junior Grand Prix. The following year, he was 12th. Last year, 7th and a 5th place. Can David Bondar do enough this year, 2025, in his 4th season on the Junior Grand Prix, to take away a medal? And it's just going to be really interesting because we're now seeing triple axels and triple combinations and skaters with commitment to the choreography as the ice dancers cheer him on.
And this skater just continues to get better. He's working, I mean, technically he can do all the elements. Little rough on the triple axel, he's got a beauty. And you can see that working that performance to a higher degree. There's still work to be done in that area, but it constantly is getting better. Let's slow this right down here. Watch the landing. This is going to affect the GOE right here. He's on the toe picks and a little bit scrappy, so it's a minus 0.57 off the total base score. But that camel spin was pretty good speed. I'm doing it in slow motion here. Good speed between the two camels.
Yeah, good spin position. And I think it appeared that David, and you were saying Yudis Raskalaev, Jeffrey Buttle worked with him as well, and he's got, I love some of the bravery. This was cool, the almost inside axle kind of take off. There was the stop in the choreography. He was giving it different energies as his coach joins him in the kiss and cry. For me, composition and presentation, good. Skating skills, just continue to increase that flow and glide. That would be, if I'm having to make the comparison with Taiga Nishino or maybe Lukas Vaclavik, that would be the component that I would think needs the most TLC moving forward. But they know that. I mean, gosh, you've got coaches like Lee Barkell and Jeffrey Buttle. So
and you know, it's a slow process for everyone, whether you're working PCs or whether you're working technical. It's a long journey. But this young man now has confidence because he didn't have a lot of confidence when he first joined the Junior Grand Prix, and he was capable, but not the confidence in competition. He has mastered that now. Even if there's a little mistake, it's not because, you know,
your brain space.
No, exactly. So he's in good shape that way. 70.84 for David Bondar of Canada. That'll put him currently in the 3rd place. Good start, and he's in the hunt for the podium. You don't want that badly. Of course, we have 2 more groups to come after the break, but he's in a good position at the moment. Our next competitor represents Austria, 18-year-old Maksym Petrychenko, Austria's junior silver medalist. This is his first Junior Grand Prix season.
Great to see another 18-year-old in their first Junior Grand Prix, hoping to embrace all the opportunities that this experience offers the skater. Austria's Maksym Petrychenko completes his short program, and I feel, having watched Maksym's performance to that wonderful music by Coldplay, a recurring theme here, and seeing more emotional commitment from many of these skaters as the ice dancers and Julia Kiefer, Anita and Andrea Straub, the women from Austria, all the Austrian team out in force. Great to see that support for their fellow countrymen. But yeah, I'm mindful and aware that there's an emotional integrity to a lot of these performances, and interestingly, all generally older men's skaters on this event, as we see that triple Lutz, triple toe that he struggled through a little.
And here's the double axel a little bit later, just quickly off that takeoff edge. Not a huge setup there.
A little look back at Taiga Nishino for
Yeah. Just a little. There we go. Okay. Okay. Back at it. But yeah, you know, he's got some refinement to do in his skating, but he skates openly, you know, from his heart.
And that, yeah, like I say, maybe it is that we've seen maybe 3 or 4 gentlemen of the first 12 to compete who have had a junior Grand Prix experience at 18 in their first occasion. And I do sense, I don't think that's common that we've had as many men, you know, joining the junior Grand Prix later in the junior age remit. And they certainly seem to have been emotionally committed.
You know, another quad leading up to the next games, of course, and I think some of these teams are sending out younger people or people that haven't experienced it yet, widening their field, their pool of talent, if you will, giving them more experiences. Not a bad strategy, of course, as they move forward. So, because there'll be retirements, and they're going to need to build up their next group.
Raft of,
yeah, exactly.
And so then with Maksym versus the rest of the field, then without the triple axel, it would be the comparison with others of a similar planned program content. He'll need to continue working those grades of executions and program component scores.
55.05 for Maksym Petrychenko of Austria. That'll put him currently into 8th place, with 1 skater to go in Group 2. There he is, final skater in Group 2, 16-year-old Shun Uemura from Japan. Not much information on this young man, no extensive international record, at least yet, and this is his first junior Grand Prix event.
But such is the depth of talent in Japan that this skater, whilst in their first junior Grand Prix, is somebody capable of 2 different quadruple jumps. And interestingly, in Japan, he was 3rd at the Summer Cup, just behind Ryo Nakata and Sena Takahashi, who have gone on to great success on the junior Grand Prix.
Could be another surprise. Here we go.
16-year-old Shun Uemura representing Japan, and you can see he's reliving some of the little mistakes. It wasn't catastrophic, but this is
but it was at the end of the program.
Yeah.
And this is a little bit, leaving a little bit of that memory. The rest of the program was really strong, and I think that frustrated him at the end.
Oh, look, he's just reliving it again and again.
Yeah.
And you often see that with these Japanese skaters, perhaps because the standard of their home nation and host nation is so high.
Well, the expectation,
Yeah, they've got to be perfect.
Take a look at some of these elements, and he's, as we said, these skaters are a bit of a surprise, but only because we don't know them so well. First time we see them. Here's the triple axel, quick off that takeout edge. Wow, that was a
Lovely.
beauty landing. It's lovely. And here's the triple loop. He fights through that, landing with a little choreographic cover up. Gets it done, and here's the triple flip. Nice and tight in the air, right up into the triple toe loop right away. Really well done.
Just has to make sure he gets 2 rotations established in that camel spin position, and I'm not sure that he achieved that. So if that's the case, he'll get a V on the combo spin and the lesser base value of the element.
And there he couldn't put he didn't get the hand on the ice, and he did that.
Aerial.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting because, we're watching Shun Uemura, but I am mentally comparing with Ryo Nakata, and I think that's probably what Shun Uemura has to do, even though Ryo Nakata isn't here.
Yeah.
That's the kind of competition that they need to be mindful of, because if they want to make, say, a junior world championship team,
it's not about these competitors, it's about the competitors he has at home. Yeah, right. He's good, very good. 75.37, seems to be pretty happy with that. That'll put Shun currently to second place. He's thrilled. There's some energy. Oh, Japan, and Slovak.
Love to know what he was hoping and expecting. And
I don't know. That's a little bit strange. There he is, all in relief, because I think he thought it was going to be a lot less than that. That concludes the coverage of group number 2, and we have a nice resurfacing, and we'll be back with group number 3. What do we have on the playback list there, Mark?
Well, we can listen in to the winner's interview from last week in Ankara with Minkyu So from Korea, former junior world champion, competing on the Junior Grand Prix stage again this series, and then to our Basics of Figure Skating series from last year. And we will be looking at grades of execution, and interestingly pertaining to the questions that we have had already online, we'll just be having a little look at the differences between a positive GOE and a negative GOE, and I deliver for you all a very negative grade of execution sit spin if you wish to stay and watch.
There you go. Hope you enjoy the videos. We'll be back after this short break. Stay with us. Here in Ankara, Turkey, with the men's champion Minkyu So of Korea. A brilliant free program. He takes the title. Minkyu, first of all, congratulations. And I wanted to ask you the question, what is different about you as a skater from last season to this season?
This season, I have the more training, and I tried quarter jump. Yeah, that is different.
Yeah, more difficult for sure. No question. And how do you improve from moving forward in this season? This is your first Junior Grand Prix this season. You have another one, I'm sure, a little bit later. How do you improve, or what will you work on between now and then?
Now, I training cord jumps, and I will try Kosal and this season.
Okay, well, that's very good. And what we've noticed, both Mark and myself were commenting on the broadcast, how much your presentation and your connection to the music continues to improve. You're a beautiful skater, an excellent technical skater. You won here. Congratulations, and we wish you the best the rest of the season.
Thank you.
The champion here in Ankara. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Figure Skating Basics.
In this episode, we're going to discuss GOE, which stands for grade of execution, better understood as the quality of the elements.
Now, you can get a maximum of 5 or a -5 based on the quality of your execution, of course. And this can make a huge difference in the end result of a competition for a skater. Now, student Mark is going to execute, first of all, a good sit spin. Is that right?
Well, we'll try.
Well, we'll check it out. Mark, really nice stretch free leg, pointed toe. That was awesome.
Well, that's one of the judges' criteria. They have a positive feature chart and a good controlled, clear position satisfies them to give a better grade of execution.
Now that was pretty well centered, nice and smooth, very quiet blades as well. And now Mark's going to intentionally make a bad sit spin.
It might not be so hard.
Yeah, it may not be difficult. Let's see.
Well, I tried to stick to the clear criteria that the judges have, so they have a reductions for errors chart. Some of those things have a traveling spin,
You did it?
a poor position,
Oh yeah.
slow,
Yeah.
and a weak exit.
Oh, totally.
So if the skater achieves the maximum +5 GOE, grade of execution, that can add 50% more to the value of their element. Equally, if it's a -5, the worst possible, then that can take 50% away from the value of the element.
Well, that concludes our episode on the GOE figure skating basics.
Let us know what you've thought of this series, and please also let us know what more you want to see from us here at the International Skating Union.
Welcome back, everyone, into Varese, Italy. We are in the final 2 groups of men in day 1 competition. This is a nice, easy day, eh, Mark? I mean, sometimes we're on for 10, 11 hours, and this is
really comparatively easy day given what we're used to covering. Covering, yeah.
Well, we love it once we get into it, but they're sometimes long days, right? That's for sure. But this is nice. This is very, very nice because it only gets harder from here on in. Next week in Bangkok, we have 4 days of competition. It's the first time actually in a Junior Grand Prix in my 13 years that we will have ever done a Junior Grand Prix in 4 days. And that's the reason, because there's one rink only in Bangkok. And so all 4 disciplines, which we have pairs of, we've never had pairs of before, this is 3rd year. So now we've got to spread that over 4 days. And then Olympic qualifier, that's one thing. But the same thing in Baku, Azerbaijan, it's split over, I guess, 3 days, but we start early. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's it. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we're finished on Saturday. So everything's a little bit different. It's, usually it's the same schedule everywhere, but it's not so. Because I think there is the Formula One, F1 racing in Baku, and we've got to get out of town before F1 comes in. So yeah.
So we start a day earlier.
Yeah, we start. We get into Baku on Monday night, and we start practices on Tuesday. Compete Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
But you're at home in the garage, so it's not a problem for you. I've never really heard you speechless before, but
yeah, all good.
Oh, because you've got something already planned.
Because I have a skate camp with 30 people attending that I moved a day later because we couldn't get back from Beijing. Anyway, just sharing.
Oh, but the practices is on Tuesday, so it's the Wednesday is the competition, but it's probably at night. Okay, well, that's your problem. All right, let's not bother the audience with this. Okay, what do we got going here? Any more questions there, Mark? As we take a look?
Yes, we do indeed. So thank you again to those that are sending in questions. We love to hear from you, and we'd love to hear. Last week when we were recovering from Ankara, we were also wanting to hear the skaters that you were supporting, and it's wonderful to hear from. Throughout the course of this day, we've had interest and listen to opinions or questions coming from actual skaters. We'd love to know how many of you are competitive skaters, recreational skaters, former skaters, or perhaps just quite simply lovers of ice skating without necessarily having had an education in it yourself.
Yeah, it'd be also interesting if you send in, what is the easiest jump for you, or the one that you enjoyed the most? What's the most difficult jump? I'm interested in that.
Actually, and that is a question that's come into us as to what our favourite jump is. So those that are avid, ardent fans of the Junior Grand Prix season upon season will know that Mr. Barton likes loops.
I do, but I also like the axle because I didn't fear going forward. I love like that speed and hold that back outside edge really strong and step, bring those arms if your leg back and let her fly. Okay, the odd waxel happened here or there.
I was going to say,
but
that's the scary part.
No, I liked it. Lutz was just a natural one for me. The worst one was Salko. You just, rip your left leg and not, finesse the edge and use your free leg and your arms. And I don't know. It was kind of a rip for me. I could do it, but, not well.
Well, I'm sure you could. But for me, I like Lutz too. But then also having seen Fedir Babenko from Ukraine, who is currently in 12th place, have that loop takeoff, that horrid loop jump takeoff.
Right on the heel, right on the hip, yeah.
That has somewhat reminded me of some of my own foibles. And indeed, we have seen throughout the course of this Junior Grand Prix similar takeoff problems on axle. So if there's a skating fan out there that hasn't experienced a waxel, I'm pretty sure that if you put it into YouTube, you'd find examples.
And I would suggest that you don't experience a waxel
if you can avoid it.
Dangerous.
If you can avoid it, absolutely. And it's interesting just here to see the skaters just going through the axle takeoff and just making sure that their timing is on point. And so often when extra adrenaline courses through the athlete's body, they snatch a timing and they will rush a takeoff, and therefore missing out the necessary patience, which will give them the ultimate reward of a good creative execution jump.
Okay, next question. Gotta move you on here.
Yeah, crack on, Henretti. So, next question. Oh, this is a very good question from @minty.skating. Do you think that the music copyright changes impact the skaters' music choices?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this a little bit already. We've noticed more classical pieces of music this year than in the past season. So clearly, people are going to classical music is a lot easier to clear, and some you don't even have to, depending on when it was done. So, you know, it has been really refreshing because we've seen a wider contrast of musical choices. So that's good. That's the only thing I've really sort of noticed. You know.
I mean, I think just for those that aren't aware, this year skaters have to get clearance to use their music, and I think now because so much of all sports are live streamed and they can go on YouTube, then understandably those that have gone to great lengths to produce this music would like either recognition or financial remuneration when their pieces are used, and that makes sense, and I think the athletes and the coaches all can comprehend that. It's a little tricky for some of the skaters though, having been able to have a free reign of music choice, to then find themselves a little bit restricted. I think there are athletes that have still continued to use choices that they would not necessarily get that clearance for, but it's probably particularly pertinent and important as we head towards the Olympic Winter Games, when the athletes that are vying for medals, there'll be more scrutiny on the music choice, and they probably get a little bit more focus and attention on their music, and therefore it's important that they don't potentially get themselves in bother.
Yeah. Okay. Next question.
Yeah.
Keep pushing
Moving
you down the
on.
ladder. Oh no, you're good. You're covered. They're
Saved
getting
by
off
the
ice. Yeah.
6 minute bell.
There you go. Okay, here we go. You're good to work with, Mark. You take, jabs it nicely and
Full of
a
hot
lot of
air.
fun. Absolutely. Okay, our next skater represents the United States of America. 17-year-old Nicholas Brooks started skating at the age of 7, a little bit older than most. He said his proudest moment so far in his career was landing his first quad. His favorite skater, Yuzuru Hanyu.
I just loved seeing this skater in practice. So much fun, so much musicality. What we saw in practice, brilliant. Hoping for the same in performance. America's Nicholas Brooks. It's difficult because the program doesn't have the same impact as it did in practice, but I think the skater has so much to offer.
Yeah, I think the thing is, we're hearing on the headset, and it was a little bit further away. When we were in the rink yesterday, it was way more electric. So I think, in all fairness, this guy's a great skater. He's got a lot of nuanced moves, choreography. Strong skater. Really unfortunate mistake in the triple toe. But we saw that a mistake a little bit later in the program yesterday in practice. There's a triple axel right on top. A little fist pump there. Triple loop. And that was nice as well. Strong technical skater. Strong with program components as well. Look at the speed of that spin. That's just normal speed. That's fantastic. Jumps over to the back camel. And that's a change, the level 4 spin. And here's the problem. Let's slow this right down. He has to do a 3-turn, come close to the boards. He's trying to squeeze it in there, and back on the heel. Not enough room to get up fast, so loses a bit of time on the music.
Yeah, and it's interesting as we look back at some of this performance value, and it's so many great influences obviously have gone into this level of kind of swagger as he moves. And Stephen Cousins involved, a British skater who is known for his performance ability. And interestingly, Nicholas also did theatre on ice for 3 years. And we mentioned that with Sophie Jolene von Felten and some other American skaters, that's obviously an aspect that others are using to enhance their performance value as Tammy Gamble joins Nicholas in the kiss and cry.
I had a nice conversation with Tammy yesterday evening, and she's such a good coach, and she's always trying to learn. That her questions and her discussion about her journey as a coach, and thinking, well, do I really have the abilities to teach a higher, and what do I need to learn more? Always seeking information to become a better coach, and making sure she guides the person, because the better person is going to be the better skater. So really interesting discussion with Tammy, and of course she's had a very successful career.
And interesting to hear of a skater or a human that wanted to coach. So skaters have different avenues: show skating, performance, competitive. Tammy explained she has always wanted to coach, and that really is ultimately what we want. We want people that want to coach, don't fall into it because that's the only avenue that they know. And
after coaching as long, you start to see patterns within skaters, and you know before they know where they're headed in regards to any of the challenge, either technically or even psychologically that they have. So it's an interesting discussion we had. This young man, he is really fun to watch. He's really good, and he has a very, very bright future. Just needs to learn to keep control of his energy, because he has a lot of it. Let's take a look at the scores for Nicholas Brooks from the United States. And that one big mistake in the jump combination, but still should have not a bad score. We'll see where it puts him. It's a 70.49, and that puts him in 5th. So he's only about a point or two away from 3rd place. So that's not bad at all at the moment. Yeah. Still a number of skaters yet to come, though.
Yeah, just half a point even.
Yeah.
It's close.
And there is our next competitor representing Korea, 15-year-old Habin Choi. 2nd Junior Grand Prix season. He is ranked 5th in senior in Korea, was 5th at the World Junior Championships last year as well.
Yeah, and 5th and 6th place at last year's Junior Grand Prix, but that 5th at Junior Worlds could be a signal of the possible favourite in this event for the 15-year-old from Seoul. Habin Choi from Korea, as I said, just off the podium at the Junior Grand Prix last year, but found his peak form by Junior World Championships, and at that event he had a 77-point short program. At this event, that's about as good as this skater can skate, so I have to assume that we'll be looking at a comparable score to that 77 from Junior Worlds, and thus, this could be the new leader.
What a great technician, and the flow that he carries into and out of the jumps. Here's the triple axel. Slow it down a little bit here. Look how solid that landing was. Just picture perfect as he rides that back edge and coming down the ice for this triple loop. Fast and tight and quick in the air, and just no wobbles at all. Triple lutz, triple toe loop, solid.
Yeah, and you know, we have to view the skater with a different kind of perspective because we're judging them based on being 5th at Junior World Championships, and thus I'm just thinking again of comparison to the likes of Ryo Nakata, Sena Takahashi, and so just you can see as he works through the difficult entry into combo spin, just cleaning up the body alignment so that there's more body control, just extending the foot in that position, just the fine detail now to just continue pushing for more.
Yeah, but he's not far off. I mean,
Not
we're going
at
to see
all.
the score. Not far off at all. In fact, in some ways, he might even have, you know, in some areas, a small little advantage. So, I mean, it's not the Ryo Nakata. I mean, he's the top of the top for sure at the moment. But this is a great skate and a great skater.
And only 15.
Yeah, like, wow. Okay. Oh, that's great. Take a look at the score, 77.76. Big reaction from the coach. Now a smile from the skater.
And Hyunseo Choi,
Yeah.
so happy to. Well deserved.
And that puts him in first place. There's a look as he tops the 2 Japanese skaters at this point. What a great job. Maybe a little unexpected for him. Not for us.
No.
Our next skater represents Estonia. There he is. 15-year-old Vladislav Churakov. 26th at the Junior Worlds last year, 2nd at the European Youth Olympic Festival. And he's coached by Anna Lavandi.
And Anna was explaining how wonderful a dancer he is and how he loves to dance. And so this short program, choreographed by Ivan Rigini, is an opportunity to exploit his dance ability as he skates to Mashki Nada.
Black of peas came to make it hot. We beat the fire start. Bubbling up just like lava, heated like a sauna. Penetrating through your body armor. Rhythmically we massage ya. With hip hop mixed up with samba. With samba, so you get there.
Vem, Magdalena Rojão, traz a lenha pro fogão, vem fazer armação. Hoje é dia de sol, alegria de Goió, é curtir o verão.
Vem, Magdalena Rojão, traz a senha pro fogão, TTT coração.
Vladislav Churakov just coming to terms with the skate there, and the pop on that intended triple loop gives him no value, so a huge loss of points.
Difficult entry. Like he had a knee slide, he had a lot going on beforehand, and he didn't get body control before that takeoff. We'll take a look at that.
But a skater that this is where I think we're really treated with the juniors, because we're seeing a skater with character, with passion, with interpretation. Great choreo by Ivan. And I'd love to see it, but our sport does have to be governed by the competitive athletic aspect, and so that's why the score here will be nothing like what he's capable of because of that mistake.
Yeah, you know, and that's what's so complex about our sport, is that the marriage between athleticism and artistry, and you have to be able to come into that athleticism moment and then go out to the performance moment, and that is a brain thing. Here's that entrance into the loop and a nice slide, but doesn't get himself set, kind of rotates it into it and has to pop it open now.
But you know, there's body movement, there's sharp, active intensity in the choreo. Just fun and engaging to see, and I look forward to hopefully seeing the skate being crystal clean, because I can imagine that then Vladislav would be able to really, really engage.
Well, you had the triple axel and triple toe loop, and that skating, he's up at the top there. He's in the top 5, right? I don't think we're going to see that here, of course, but still, he has a 58.31 personal best. We're certainly not going to see that score here, but he's capable.
It's interesting, the quote
of having that
that
more.
That Vladislav gave was, the goal was to skate cleanly so spectators can enjoy figure skating. And that's such a profound
good point.
answer for
Yes,
a 15-year-old
totally.
to say,
I got to be clean in order for them to really recognize and enjoy the performance as well. Yeah, that's
and,
true.
You know, this is a skate that spectators can enjoy. I enjoyed it, and I think that anybody could enjoy a skater that gives that much performance value, but of course when you don't skate cleanly you can't give it.
Oh, there it is. 48.12 for Vladislav, and that'll put him into 14th place. He's much, much better than that, but not on this day. It's a sport, and it's costly when you make the big mistake. A really good skater, a lot of fun to watch, and very capable. Early in the season, sure he'll get better. As we see our next skater representing Sweden, 18-year-old Elias Sayed, 3rd Junior Grand Prix season, Sweden's junior silver medalist.
And when Elias was given the choice between being a risk taker or a stable skater, chose risk for growth. So a skater mindful of what's necessary for him to succeed at the highest level. Elias Sayed representing Sweden, and we noticed that Elias had a triple axel as the planned program content to open this program, but rather obviously elected to do a double axel instead, which looked like a conscientious choice. But sometimes I think, Ted, that when a skater intends to play it safe, sometimes that loses the focus or changes the brain space, because it looked like Elias just on edge throughout the performance.
Yeah, you know, when he got in the step sequence, we saw some intricate moves
some cool
but which you really couldn't tell he could do beforehand. He was a relatively normal skater in the first part of the program, but yeah, he's got the triple axel, but he doubles that right here. We take a look, and the triple's obviously not ready to go. I was kind of late on that double loop, or triple loops, pardon me. There's the triple lutz, gets the free leg back. Not a lot of speed, but he squeezes that out. Not a lot of height either, so he doesn't carry a lot of air and a lot of time in there. Yeah, very cool.
And actually interesting use of like back choctaws, different combinations of turns, but just little things like the fly over and the change camel spin, or the speed within this attempt perhaps of the 8 rotations feature, just not at the most optimal, like most comfortable, but a fun skater to watch.
No, you've got a lot of abilities, but it's a long journey, you know. Putting the journey of learning technically, and then the journey of discovering yourself as a performer, trying to do it equal at the same time along the way, it's really hard. It's really, really hard. And then put it out in competition. And
he has Sergei Rozanov, Polina Shubdarova, and Moza Sayed listed on his coaching staff, and I'm guessing that that's his dad. And that's a total guess, but looks like that could be the case. And again, confirmation of the investment from not just the coaches who give so much, but also the family members as well.
Yeah, he's an interesting skater, there's no question. And, you know, it's the type of skater that you can do something with. He's got the athleticism, he's got the performance. There's a lot of good stuff there. 53.22 for Elias Sayed from Sweden. That's 12th spot at the moment in the short program. Well, there is a young lad, 14 years old, using your term, 14 years old, Kirill Sheiko from Israel, ranked second in junior at the Israel Nationals. Did not have his best skate in Riga, but has lots of skills and hopes to improve his score today.
And whilst we hope the tech score goes well, there's no Kirill Sheiko, it's interesting because we have crossed paths with his mom, who's his coach, and we've just had a little bit of an insight into how, a wonderful skate. His mom was a wonderful skater, how she's managing and mindful of the creation of a great skater. Kirill Sheiko is an absolutely great skater, but they're also very aware that he's a 14-year-old young man that's going to be up and down and somewhat
and his
volatile.
And his brother Nikita, will see him next week with his dad will be there. So it's a full family affair here, and this young skater's got great bags of energy and fun in his skating, but he's growing, and things are changing every day. So the timing is a little off. Gets that triple loop done. Here's the triple Lutz, maybe a little inside edge into the double toe loop, but accomplishes that as well. And a little loss of balance. I like that back layback. That's not easy. Takes great flexibility as well.
So cool.
Yeah, this is really nicely done.
And the composition and the presentation have to be about the movement to the music. Now the costume tells it too, but the storytelling is so on point to the music. And I know that Kirill and his family really appreciate Igor Cheneyev, the choreographer, and they seem to have a great appreciation for Igor, not just as choreographer, but also addition to the skating skills aspect, and another coach who will help support the evolution of their child as a human. They're not just worrying about employ somebody that's going to make my child a better skater, make my child a happy human.
And it's an interesting thing we've talked often about. There's many really, parents who are coaching their kids. It's expensive, and they would love to put it with another coach, but it's a very expensive proposition. So the journey of mom and son, or mom and daughter, or dad and whatever, it's a complicated thing, and I think they do a great job. And we see the scores here, 55.72. It's the season's best for Kirill. He knows he can do better than that. He's well on his way. He's growing. He's changing. And so he's in a good spot, even though he might be a little frustrated. And there is our next competitor representing France, Gianni Motilla, 18 years old, third Junior Grand Prix season. He is ranked 6th in France in senior and was 20th at the Junior World Championships.
And choreographer Mihail Chantelau is explaining what an emotive skater, this athlete can be, and he cannot believe the progression that has been made within the past 3 years. And Gianni will be another skater to open, intended with a triple axel. final skater in this third group in the men's short program in Varese at the ISU Junior Grand Prix, Gianni Motilla, and just struggling through with 2 falls in that performance, and the opening triple axel coming under review. And I think he's obviously very capable. It would not have been included had he not been able to deliver that in practice, but unfortunately it's under rotated, I think, today, and so thus he'll get only 80% of the value, and then knock-on implications with the fall too, so lots of points lost to start the program. Some interesting storytelling as we see here. Yeah, just wrapping the free leg, slowing down the rotation to try to clutch a landing, thus under-rotated. Huge elevation for the triple loop, loads of ice coverage. Same applies for the triple loops, but it looked like a little similar to the triple axel, rushing the takeoff, not allowing the right leg to draw back and give him the height that he would have comfortably used in practice. And here,
This is kind of cool.
yeah,
2 Arabians.
Joseph Sabovchek vibes.
Yeah. We've seen 3 or 4 in some cases.
So Malika Tahir joining him. She responsible for so many brilliant young French junior skaters and senior skaters now, offering a great stable for the students that train with her. But you can see, difficult to know what to say as Gianni just contemplates what has taken place. And this is a skater that's perhaps, you know, had some inconsistency insofar as last year on the Junior Grand Prix had won 16th place and won 8th place. So this again, just another assessment of where he's at as he struggles to find a consistency of form.
Yeah, 53.57. His personal best was 61.31, so he's quite short of that. That'll put him currently into 13th place. There's a look at the standings so far after 3 groups. Final group taking to the ice for their 6-minute warm-up. Some surprises, Mark. Some really good skaters. Maybe not their perfect skates, but some really nice skating. And we got 6 more to come.
Yeah, and you know, so often we do see the Korean and the Japanese skaters top of the field. As a generalization, I'd say more often it has been the Japanese skaters that have come out on top, but Minkyu So, he was rather fabulous last week.
Oh yeah, he was amazing. He was, yeah. And he was second after the short short program, and he fought back to take the title. But he had just a terrific skate. Any more questions that we have coming in?
I haven't had.
Or is
any
everybody
more
exhausted?
Sent through. Although I should double check, because I had some wonderful questions sent through from last week that were sent through like to my own. Interesting. There was a question about the difference between the jump combinations and the jump sequences. And so in the free skate, you'll be able to see jump sequences, and they can offer one of those in a free skate and 2 jump combinations. And generally, you'll see the jump sequences being where the second jump is an axel jump. And we'll go into detail a little bit more when we can showcase some of those examples on the 2nd and 3rd day of competition when we see those sequences taking place. And so I'm just asking also about the technical element score and the base value of elements. And every year the International Skating Union will release a communication with the base value of all the elements. So the skaters will be able to know, and they can construct their own program score should they do it as they wish. So for each element there are different points attached. In the junior men's short program you cannot include quadruple jumps, so there is some semblance of cap to the technical element score.
Yeah. And I wonder whether that'll change in the future or not. I don't know. But or it's same thing with the women. Can they use the triple axel, right?
As the solo jump, and I suppose that the ISU will, as we continue to listen to the impact of the Vision 2030, we are really mindful that the International Skating Union and the subgroups with the technical committees are listening to the opinions of the coaches and the skaters to be able to tailor the sport to them, because they are ultimately the kind of, you know, the working forces, the working parties.
And what I like the discussions that we've heard so far, not in a lot of detail, but it's, you know, anything goes on the table. You know, is there a better way to utilize a short program. Is the short program just a shorter version of the free program, which it kind of is, right? So, I think there's a lot of open discussion, and people aren't afraid to put things onto the table. Now, how it all filters through, we'll wait and see. But I think it's a healthy exercise to go through. AI will play a part in the process of determining at least a little bit of the results, on the parts that it can be applied. The testing is going on. So lots of things will happen over the next 4 years. I think it's going to be very interesting indeed. We have a beautiful sport, but the question is, can we make it more appealing and more understanding for the audience?
And it's interesting, in regards to posing the question as to whether or not the requirements for juniors in a short program are tweaked and changed. I always think, Ted, that you've got great visionary awareness, and I feel like of the two of us, you're the more youthful-minded in regards to the future, and I'm the more kind of archaic, harping back to the past, because there is an element of me thinking that quadruple jumps perhaps shouldn't be offered for the men and the women and juniors, because my fear would be that then the skaters would attach the numbers of points for those quads to dictate their training more than perhaps the less tangible skating skills. I think it's always ideal to be able to have the most balanced of skaters, and sometimes when you've got a youngster, they love to jump and they attach to numbers, and so it's a bit easier to find yourself focusing.
I hear that argument. I actually don't have a major opinion on that. I don't have a decision, they should or they shouldn't. It's kind of okay whichever way they go there. It is a sport of which those jumps are part of, and it is art of which all the other aspects are part of. So how do they want to weight that program, and do they want to call it the technical program? There's lots of options here. It'll be for others to decide, but it'll be interesting. At least they're having the discussion.
Yeah, and I suppose I hear myself saying that, I want to see the all-rounded, well-balanced skater.
Oh, so do I. I think everybody does, but...
But interestingly, then I know when it's come to seeing, historic physical technical feats in our sport with Ilya Malin doing a quad axel, and me immediately thinking, oh my goodness, that's not given enough value. That's insane. He should be given more for that element. So equally, I can find myself...
yeah, that's what I'm in the same position. I can sort of argue both sides.
Yeah. And so ultimately then, you want what's best for the sport.
But what is that?
Well, I suppose you could argue more fan engagement, more viewership, and then thus more poured into the sport.
Well, the fans will understand a big element, which takes a short period of time, less than a second or maybe a second, whatever, than something that is too difficult, like in ice dance, when it comes to the key points. What exactly is this, and what does it look like, and how do I know whether it was done well?
Yeah.
Well, you never will know, and right? So have we complicated the sport so much in regards to, let's take dance is more complicated, obviously. So is there a way to still make it difficult, still make it beautiful, but make it more understandable? So I think that's the journey that they are on in 2030.
Yeah. And I suppose when I think about how do we elevate figure skating to more public mainstream consciousness, I think of Simone Biles as a gymnast, and a lot of her incredible physical feats are what attracted attention. Unbelievable physical movement.
Well, here we go. We're clearing the ice in the final group. Keep our energy up there. Mark is, complaining, but there's no light in this here.
we have very artificial light in our
hockey dressing room, but we're just outside the kiss and cry, so we get all the action.
And now we excitedly move on to skater representing Turkey, Furkan Emre İncel, 5th in the short program last week.
Yeah.
Back-to-back Junior Grand Prix. What can he take from last week's experience to enhance even further?
Well, this young man had a great skate last week in Turkey, and he was fueled by the audience. I think all the skaters from Turkey or from Ankara were just fueled by the energy of the building and the pride that they had. And it must be hard this next week right away, and you don't have your home audience with you, and you can see that little bit of fatigue come into his program. Nevertheless, he's made great progress over the year.
Yeah, and I mean, you can only imagine the enormity of the emotions from last week. There was such energy in the arena. It's a phenomenal result. We look back now, double axel all good, but he must be shattered. And I can't imagine he's had much training time because of the travel, as we see triple loops, double, 3-turn, triple toe loop.
And you mentioned off there that last week the two top men were in the 80s, but there are actually 5 or 6 here in the 70s.
Yeah, last week in Ankara, only in the men's short program, only 3 men achieved a score of over 70 points. Already, with more to come, 6 men in this event have had over 70 points. So it just gives you an indication that from different events, there are different standards. Yeah. And whilst they were great skaters last week, it was maybe a little bit easier to get that top 4 result. But lovely to see Rana Beltis-Gochman with him in the Kiss and Cry, who's so supported. They seem so united in pursuing success for not just themselves, but also Turkish skating. And indeed, I said Furkan wants to be the first Turkish skater to get to a junior world championship.
Yeah, and you can see the young skaters, they're looking up to these. These are leaders for them. Young skaters are wanting to be like them and wanting to be even better. And this is the feeling that I got there, that there is a drive by coaches and parents and the association to be something more than what they already are, and they're getting better every day. And he's a role model for the next generation. So as are a number of the other men in the dance team as well that we've seen here a little earlier today.
And that the challenge will now be being a role model in reaction to then the less wonderful competition experiences, now being able to use this as a different kind of fuel. Yeah,
and we saw some really good young women from Turkey last week, and that was a lot of fun to see that. So it's kind of fun, and I think there's a number of nations that are building this sport and have enthusiasm and support from the government and from the community, and which is great. The sport's old in North America, it's old in Europe, but it's new in a lot of these other countries, so relatively new.
I'm always fascinated to see the coach-student interaction and relations, and how every single one of these skaters that has performed in this men's short program is an elite athlete. That all the standard is generally very good. All of them have to have committed their lives to be at this level, and it's interesting seeing which coaches have the jollity and the fun, like Rana's giving, and some a little more strict, but Rana's giving joyful vibes.
Well, 47.03 for Furkan Insal from Turkey. That'll put him in 18th spot. Not the same performance he had last week. He's the same skater, but on this day we certainly had a few challenges.
And I admire and respect so much the way he's embraced that score.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, good for him. Our next skater represents Germany, 16-year-old Leon Roshkov, 2nd Junior Grand Prix season, 8th at the European Youth Olympic Festival, 6th in junior in German nationals.
Leon will skate to come together and happy.
until you try. You never feel happy.
Leon Rykov, the 16-year-old, born in Berlin. He has some amazing spring and elevation. He appears to just generate such good plyometric bounce off the ice. Electing to do a double axel, I'm not sure if it was intentional. I think I saw him struggling a little bit with the triple axel, perhaps in practice, as we see the ice dancers. Incidentally, Leon does train with ice dancers a little. He works with Robin Tweedale, an ice dancer, on his skating skills, so a real connection with the ice dancers that are here as part of the German team in Varese as well.
It's so nice to be on a team where you've got your skating mates with you. Yeah, absolutely. There's the double axel. You can see the mechanics of the takeoff. It's probably set up for the triple, but not enough experience yet. There's the lots.
Whee!
Huge.
That's amazing.
Into the triple toe loop. No problem there at all. The triple loop was easy as well. Just little things, I would say, with positioning refinement, but a good, strong athlete and some nice...
Love that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And, you know, when we look at Leon now, we know that he's obviously working on triple axel, probably using it. But when we consider the junior men at Junior Grand Prix level, so we've had 19 performances already, and it's the top 6 which had successful triple axels and the top 6 which have scored over 70 points. So there is a little bit of a correlation between your top results and having to have that technical
For sure.
level.
No, it sets you apart a little bit if you can do it. If you get the triple axel done and the rest of the program, it sets you clearly in the upper group. And that upper group can go anywhere from 4 to like 7 or 8, depending.
Yeah.
And right now we have 7 in the 70s, so there we go. But good program, good energy, good technique, strong athlete.
Viola Striegler, the coach, and the German team leader join him.
Let's take a look at the scores. 59.26 for Leon, and that'll put him currently into 11th place.
Thumbs up. Yay, okay.
Yeah, you know, just the triple S triple toe used to set people right up in the top 6 as things have changed so dramatically, so quickly. So we take a look at our next skater representing Czechia. 15-year-old Jakub Tykal, second Junior Grand Prix season, 30th at the Junior World Championships. He's coached and choreographed by Andrei Hotarak.
Jakub Tykal representing Czechia, but a skater that also trains not too far away from here in Bergamo, and that perhaps the reason why there's such a warm support for this young 15-year-old.
I really like the, I don't know how to describe it, sort of the, and I want to say careful, it's not the right word, but precise approach to everything he did. Even that last movement, that sharp, crisp last movement.
That was nice up on the tope.
Really, really nice. Good technique. Jumping technique, he under-rotated the triple toe loop, but, and he's just 15, so let's take a look at some of the elements here. Wonderful posture. Here's the double axel, and you know that's probably not close yet to the triple, but it's good basic double. There's the triple flip, and under rotated in the.
He did well to hang on to that.
He sure did. Yeah. Nice camel spin here. Good turned out toe. That's what we're talking about. That clear position.
Good speed maintained while doing the features.
Yeah. There you go. Like pretty much the same speed on both sides, which is not easy to do. And there's the flying sit right at the end of the program. Pretty clear and defined position there as well. And level 4 with a plus GOE in that final element. Right there it is. Yeah, nice. Good job.
And Andre Otarek, working with him, Andre's just such good energy, and he and his wife Anna Capellini, former world ice dance champion, between them they're doing so much for Italian skaters and the skating community as well, and whilst managing all that, they have 2 young children too, so total respect to the coaches. It's great to hear the coaches and all the work that they do, and then to, you know, we talk about the athletes and the humans, and you know, Jakub, we've seen him, we know that his sister skates, and the family's invested a lot of time and effort and energy, but also it's great to acknowledge the humans that are the coaches who give so much to these
and you know, the coaches have personalities the same as the athletes do, and you just find that right mix between the athlete and coach that just clicks. Let's take a look at the scores here for Jakub. It's a 54.59, and that will put him currently into 14th place. Now he looks pretty happy with that, a nod of approval. He says, okay, good young skater. Lots more to come, I'm sure. Our next skater, represents Hong Kong, 14-year-old Jari Lee, second junior Grand Prix season. He was 18th at the Junior World Championships, and he's coached and choreographed by Chen Wang.
And Lee skated at the Asian Open Figure Skating Trophy earlier last month, and a 59-point short program there. A personal best of 64 from Wuji, as you say. Skating to Don Quixote. Jari Lee representing Hong Kong, and another skater who has struggled through the performance, popping the double axel and mistake on the jump combo. But as I look down at his past results, it appears that this is a skater who has competed only in Asian events. So he competed at the Asian Open Figure Skating Trophy twice and on the Junior Grand Prix, but in Wuxi last year. I just was checking the time, Ted. It's 3:30 in the morning in Hong Kong currently. This another factor that these youngsters have to take into consideration. 14 years of age, representing your nation in a different continent, in a completely different time
And as
zone.
exciting as it is to travel the world, it still affects the body for sure. Really, at an older age, it really does. It really does, yeah. But nice classic skater here. Some really nice positions, good posture all the way through. Here's the triple Lutz. Not a lot of speed, but he works to get that triple toe loop. It's under-rotated, of course, on the landing. And that is unfortunate. That takeoff hooks around the corner. That's always deadly. There's the triple loop. That was nicely done.
Absolutely.
Beautiful Camelson. Watch the speed here. There's the forward outside edge. He jumps it over and gets just as much speed, if not more, on the second side.
Really good use of the left leg, the second leg, to generate speed in the landing.
And you said that was the highest scoring of Change Camel.
Yeah, I was just running down the stats of the skaters, and that's certainly top 4 skaters currently didn't receive as good a GOE on the Change Camel. That's a prerequisite for the men and the juniors this year. They have to do a Change Camel, and Jari Lee gave us one of the best of the event in that element. And if that's, I'm not sure, Ted, excuse my ignorance, because I'm not sure if this is the coach, but the coach listed, Chen Wang, is listed as both coach and choreographer, and you can see again a different approach here. There's so much analysis.
Well, it must be because he knows what he's talking about here, obviously. Another teaching points, yeah. But look at, he must be ballet trained to a certain degree. Look at the posture in which he sits.
Yeah. And to be able to take on Don Quixote, the music has to have had. Actually, I was aware that he's obviously trained off the ice, the way that he held his hands in the finished position. Attention to detail. And attention to detail in the costume. Quite a jazzy, quite a fabulous costume too.
Jazzy?
Maybe not jazzy. Quite a snazzy. Snazzy! That was the word I was looking for.
How about classic? I don't know.
Yeah.
But snazzy? Snazzy would be. I'm more
classically snazzy? Snazzily
yeah,
classic?
okay, there you go.
Okay, yeah.
Classically snazzy.
Classically snazzy.
It's acceptable, I think, at this time of the night. Anything's acceptable. One skater to go.
It's 3:30 in Hong Kong, but what time
exactly.
is it?
Yeah.
Ay. And you know what I can say? At the Asian Open, his change camel spin was only a level 3, and here it was a level 4.
Okay. Progress made on that.
Actually,
that's a great spin.
Based on the Asian Open score, every element per Jari Lee was 1 level higher. So change foot combo spin, a 4 here, a 3 at his last event.
Great.
And the same step sequence was a 2 at the last event, a 3 here. So
Great.
Some obvious improvements, but of course the kind of heavy hitting elements of the...
Yeah, that's the costly one. So he has a 64.35 as his personal best. He's not going to reach that here, but there's some progress made on some of the levels. 52.71, and that'll put this young man into 17th place with 1 skater to go. Just 14, so lots more to come. Our final skater in the men's short program represents Korea, Hyunseo Park, 19 years old. He's 3rd Junior Grand Prix season, had his 9th and 11th place finish last season on the Junior Grand Prix.
And Hyunseo Park, one of, if not the eldest competitor in this event of the 24 men competing, and hoping to draw on that maturity and bring forth a great result in his final age-eligible season for juniors skating to La Bohème. Hyunseo Park from Korea closes the men's short program in Varese, the third stop of the International Skating Union Junior Grand Prix. This skater with so much experience. He's been 7 times a Korean junior competitor nationally.
Wow. Yeah. I was mentioning off air that he reminds me his technique on his jumps a little bit like Petr Chan. He's really quick off the ice, and he's a very strong skater. And he had some passionate choreography, execution. It was nice. He's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
We'll take a look, and you can see really start off the top. There's the triple Lutz, a little too far forward and just really unfortunate. Has to take the fall there. The triple loop, a little bit open in the air, saved it a little bit like Patrick with the double axel, and pretty good. Not that great of a camel. So that leg I was gonna.
You're trying to praise.
But then I realized the leg was really barely at the hip level, so I don't know what. Let's take a look.
It's under review.
It's under review, so we'll have to see.
I suppose for Hyunseo Park, it's his final junior year. It's kind of wondering, well, what will he do now to make that jump to seniors, or indeed whether or not he wants to, pursue other facets of the skating world.
Well, you'd mentioned off there, I mean, he's a good, really, really good single skater, no question, but he'd also make a great pair skater. He's pretty tall and strong, and,
so much, and also, choosing the La Boheme music, he had passion, he had interpretation.
He did, yeah, totally.
So there's this potential then for showmanship as well. There's so many facets to go through, but certainly now there's going to be a junction where he needs to either really graph for the higher base value technical content.
Yeah, well, he's 19, and you need the quads and the triple axles and all those types of things, and maybe some people get them later on in life. It's possible for sure. He's got good technique, it's not the issue, and he's got good skating skills and some passion to it, so lots of good things there. He'll just have to decide what he wants to do with it. Let's take a look at the scores for the short program. The final skater here on day 1, 46.07, and he takes a look at that. Said, well, that's not really what I was hoping for. It'll put him currently into 22nd place. Well, as you said, 6 skaters in the 70s, correct? Yeah, that's good.
And 6 skaters who did triple axel. So that's the benchmark, as we said, as we see the standings.
Yep, there you go. Take a look at the standings after the men's short program, and this closes out our first day of competition. Tomorrow, of course, we've got the women's short program and the free dance. Mark, the premier event in your mind is coming up tomorrow, and you'll get to do some good interviews as well.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
We hope you've enjoyed the coverage here in day 1 from Varese, Italy, and we will move on next week to Bangkok, Thailand, and that will be an interesting competition as well. 4 events. The pairs will join us once again. So for all of us here at the ISU, for all of our incredible broadcast crew, we thank them and the local volunteers as well. For Mark Hanratty, I'm Ted Barton. Thank you for watching. We'll hope you join us tomorrow.